What's up, guys? It's Dekkster here. We got some more cards to look at. This is the last set of cards before the final dump, but yeah, let's get into it. We got Bronze Explorer here, which is a dragon for Paladin, a 3-mana 2/3 with lifesteal, and Battlecry, discover a dragon. Now, this is pretty good. The stats are obviously not that great, but the lifesteal and the Battlecry really, they make this card pretty much worth it. We do have that Dragon Rider card in addition to this, where it'll throw the buff on the Bronze Explorer. You play the Bronze Explorer, discover another dragon. The Bronze Explorer dies, and then once it dies, the Death Rider goes on to the other dragon. So it adds a little bit of consistency there. But on top of that, it's just a decent dragon to put in your deck. If you're running a Dragon Paladin deck, I believe this is a staple as a 2 of. The lifesteal, really good against aggro decks. Obviously, you don't have too much attack on this thing, but it is a little bit annoying if you're playing against aggro decks, and you get to follow it up with hopefully a nice little dragon through that discover mechanic. I do love discover as a mechanic. It's a lot of fun, and being able to use it with dragons, it's going to be a good time being able to find, hopefully, you know, again, the right dragon for that specific scenario. Maybe you're filling out your curve. Maybe you end up playing this on turn 4, you find a turn 5 dragon. You play this super late, you get a really expensive dragon. You're playing this on turn 5, maybe you even find a 2-mana dragon that you can throw out immediately. But yeah, overall Bronze Explorer, I think we're going to see a lot of this card. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. Okay, we got Cobalt Spell Kin, a 5-mana 3/5 neutral card here with the Battlecry. Add 2 1-cost spells from your class to your hand. This is a dragon, which I think is really important to keep in mind. And the Battlecry is pretty decent. It's just these stats are so bad for 5 mana. If you're playing against an aggro deck, you're not going to want to play this on 5. It just does so little. But if you're playing something like a Highlander Dragon Mage, I think this is definitely going to find its way into that sort of deck. Having 1-cost spells for Mage especially, you know, being able to use the Twin Spell Freeze card, maybe Arcane Missiles or just some other stuff. Mage has a lot of great 1-cost spells. And there are other classes with good 1-cost spells as well, like Rogue, maybe Warrior. So maybe it finds its way into those. But ultimately, I'm not too hyped about this, aside from some sort of Dragon, Highlander, Mage. And I'm going to give this 3 out of 5. All right, Evil Quartermaster, 3-mana 2/3. Warrior card with the Battlecry, add a lackey to your hand, gain 3 armor. Now, Warrior has what they have: the lance, they have Evil Cable Rat, and they have that thing that damages something and summons a lackey if it doesn't kill it. So more lackey generation, pretty good for Warrior. And I think Evil Quartermaster is pretty nice. I mean, it does not have premium stats as a 3-mana 2/3, but you have to keep in mind, if it generated a lackey and had decent stats like a 3-mana 3/3 or a 3/4, it'd just be way too good. So Evil Cable Rat does see play, not in Warrior, but it does see play. That's a 2-mana 1/1. Battlecry, get a lackey. So here you're paying 1 more mana. You're getting 1/2 extra worth of stats in addition to 3 armor. So 1 mana, 1/2, gain 3 armor. I think it's totally worth. I think Quartermaster will see some play. One of the better lackey generators, and I think this gets, again, a 4 out of 5. All right, we got Platebreaker. This card is insane. 5 mana, 5/5 with the Battlecry, destroy your opponent's armor. All their armor, all of it. That's insane. Obviously, you don't want to play Thekel anymore with this thing possibly being in the meta. This thing will really keep Control Warrior under control. In addition to just druids that get a lot of armor, now we have Platebreaker. So if you're seeing a lot of warriors, a lot of druids getting tons of armor, they're frustrating you, you tech this card in. Probably the best tech card I've ever seen. Skulking Geist was really good for destroying archetypes that were like Jade Druid, right? And this just kind of destroys specific archetypes like maybe Control Warrior and, again, armor heavy druids. But as far as this seeing a ton of play, I don't think you really want to run a 5-mana 5/5 do nothing against half the classes, unless you're seeing, you know, 20 to 30%, maybe 30% plus decks that run a ton of armor. I think you don't want to run this. So if you're playing against a warrior, this thing just destroys 4 armor. I guess you're kind of getting your value out of it, right? Even if they're just some sort of tempo warrior that happens to get armor through like evil Quartermaster. But if you're playing against a rogue, or you're playing against a priest, or a mage, I guess mage can kind of get armor, but you know what I mean? Like classes that don't really get armor, this is just going to be not that good. I guess kind of similar to Acidic Swamp Ooze in that sense that a lot of classes may not run a weapon, but you're playing Acidic Swamp Ooze anyway. But oozes are cheaper. This is 5 mana 5/5. Ooze is not bad at a 2 mana 3/2. So yeah, Platebreaker, kind of nutty. I didn't think they'd actually make a card like this, but they went ahead and they did it. I think this is a 5 out of 5 as far as a tech card. It is definitely going to see play until it gets rotated. I don't think it's a staple in any deck, but I still think it deserves that 5 out of 5 rating, just because if there does end up being some sort of crazy armor deck, this will counter it and you'll just be able to tech it in. So one of the best tech cards we've ever seen in Hearthstone. Wyrmrest Purifier, 2 mana 3/2 with the battle cry to transform all neutral cards in your deck into random cards from your class. This is bad. This is a meme. This is not a card you're going to run at all. Well, in Arena, it might be fun to pick it, just have a nice, enjoyable time. But is this ever going to go in a competitive, viable deck? I'm gonna lean towards no, and that's a heavy no. Obviously, if you're running into Hakars and you got Bloods in your deck, you can use this to transform those into just random cards. But I feel like there are better ways to go about that, and you're just never going to see Wyrmrest Purifier. Why is this epic? I'm going to give it a 1 out of 5. All right, we got Embiggen. Embiggen, Druid card. This card, pretty dang good. Give all your minions in your deck +2/+2. They cost 1 more up to 10, so they cannot go past 10. If this hits Deathwing, for example, he'll be 10 mana, not 11. So this is insane. I don't think it really fits in current Druid builds, but I think there is going to be some sort of token or maybe Treant Druid that this may fit into. Very reminiscent of Keleseth. Keleseth really had these deck building restrictions, whereas this does not. So maybe this is even better. But Keleseth was +1/+1 to minions in your deck, but they didn't go up in mana. This makes +2/+2, but it does go up 1 in mana, right? But I think that makes it totally worth. You also have to keep in mind that this is a 0 mana card, and you can run 2 of them. It's not a legendary like Keleseth, so you can give everything in your deck +4/+4. Yeah, it'll cost 2 more. But I don't think you really care. So if you have a very minion-heavy druid build, some sort of mid-range druid, mid-range dragon druid or something like that, I think this could be really, really fun. And this card is borderline busted, assuming druid finds the right minions that kind of support this card. And if they don't right now, I think in a future expansion, this is going to become even better, almost to the point where they may need to nerf this in the future. I think Embiggen is a 5 out of 5 card. Power level is just so good. There's too many 4s, too many 5s, just compared to previous expansions. It's really hard to rate these not as 4s and 5s, just to what we've seen. But my God, this is insane. All right, we got Goku the Mightree, 7 mana 5/10. So it's like an Ancient of War that chooses Taunt. With the battle cry, the rest of the game, your treants have +1/+1. Now, Treant Druid is not really a popular thing right now. It's just not that great. I do hope that Treant Druid eventually becomes a thing. And if it does, I think this will definitely be played in those sort of decks. I wish it was a little bit cheaper, maybe half the stats. Maybe if this was, I don't know, a 4 mana 2/6, I think this would see a lot of play. 4 mana 2/6 or something like that. But at a 7 mana 5/10, with Druid, with Treant Druid not being too strong of an archetype at the moment, I don't think this is going to be that competitive. Of course, as we see more Druid cards, maybe they're going to give us more Treant love, and this will get even stronger and stronger. And in the future, as more expansions come in, hopefully more Treants also get integrated into the set. So I think this gets a 3 out of 5 for now. I do love the card though. I think it's really cool. And I do like messing with token druids, so I am going to play with this card quite a bit. But as far as, again, being competitively viable, like a tier 1, tier 2 deck, I don't think so right now with the current pool. All right, we got Treenforcements, a 1-mana druid card here. Choose one, give a minion +2 health and taunt, or summon a 2/2 Treant. 2/2 Treant, 1-mana 2/2. That's really good. There's not a lot of good 1-mana cards out there right now. There are a couple 1/3s, but mostly 2/2 is very, very premium stats. Very similar to Enchanted Raven, which I believe saw a decent amount of play, especially in token decks. Now, you do have to keep in mind, I think token decks in the future, this expansion and on, they are going to have Embiggen, and Embiggen does not hit Treenforcements. So maybe that actually deters you from wanting to run this in some sort of Embiggen deck. Maybe something like a Crystallizer is just better because Crystallizer, after being hit with Embiggen, becomes a 2-mana 3/5, whereas this is just a 1-mana 2/2 at that point. So is this going to be used in Embiggen decks? Maybe not. Is it going to be used in some sort of Treant deck, assuming Treant Druid does become a thing? Absolutely. A 1-mana 2/2 is no joke. It's very good. And the other option is pretty much using it as a Titanic Lackey, but you don't get the 1/1 body of the Lackey. So I think generally you're going to use this as a 2/2. Used with Quest Druid, and obviously you can get both effects, which is pretty nice and pretty much worth it, but I don't know if it's worth using this to take up a slot in a Quest Druid. I think in the current builds of Quest Druid, you don't actually want to run this. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 just because of the versatility. I feel like if there is a Treant Druid, this is going to be used. If not, I feel like this is going to be used in some sort of mid-range Druid regardless. In Quest Druid, maybe there ends up being some sort of Treant Quest Druid. That might be really, really cool. But my main concern is, again, that Embiggen is just going to drown this out, and you'd rather run other 1-mana minions. So compared to the current set, I feel like it's a 4 out of 5. But thinking about Embiggen being such a strong card, it almost makes me want to give this like a 3.5. But I'm still going to say 4. It's a very, very solid card. Okay, so that's it. That's all we got. That's the end, I think, until the final reveal stream, which does happen tomorrow. That's going to be a lot of cards. So I am going to have to do a long video on that one. Hopefully I can get it out shortly after the stream. If you do enjoy these card reviews, don't forget to hit it with a thumbs up so I know that I should keep doing these. Hope you guys are enjoying Ladder. Hope you're enjoying Battlegrounds, whatever you're doing. Hope you're having a great day. Good luck on Ladder or the Battlegrounds, and stay hydrated.